Tape Deck Media.
Welcome to Hosstown.
I'm Taylor Ruddle.
I'm Matt Lilley.
We are the Bears of Hosstown. Let's start the show.
Welcome to Hosstown. It's me, Matt Lilley.
I am Taylor Ruddle.
And we're back after a short hiatus, an unplanned hiatus, we must admit. But, life, the Hosses are busy people. Hosses are in high demand. But we're back. We're here.
Yes, welcome back. Merry Hossmas.
Yep.
This is going to be our Christmas episode for the year. So, hope you had a good. Hope you had a good year. Hope you've got some, some decadent Christmas feasting to do soon. We're back. So, man, it's been a long time. We've got this list here. All sorts of delightful things to talk about on here. Anything you want to kick us off with?
Oh, no. Wow. I mean, we may as well talk about the members of Hosstown, the population of Hosstown, the citizens of Hosstown. The population in the latest census took a little bit of a hit, did it not?
Yes, we lost a subscriber. Well, we lost one and then we gained a subscriber, Harry. I believe it was. Shout
out, Harry.
Shout out, Harry. Welcome to Hosstown.
Yep.
And to the gutless defector who left. No.
Excommunicated.
Yeah,
from the town of Hoss.
We had to get rid of them. They were, they lost too much weight, and it wasn't, the image wasn't really flying. No, but yeah, so
we start treating our fans like Lizzo's fans treated her. We started losing weight, just like, how dare you? Body positivity.
I know, right?
Is the Hosstown just the male version of the body positivity movement?
I think it is. Yeah.
That's all we need to say on that.
Yeah, so it's a shame we lost a subscriber, but then we gained one again, and Harry. So welcome along.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we've got to post more reels to get more subscribers. I don't really know how we reach new people. I suppose people aren't really Googling Hoss and Hoss related topics.
No, that is the question. How do you get more people? I mean, that's the business we're in.
Yeah.
It's just, how do we get strangers to find us and like us?
Yeah.
So I don't know, if you're a stranger and you're finding us now, please like us.
Yeah.
And follow us.
Welcome along.
We've got
barbecue, everything.
But I think the main thing is we just we can't look too much in the rearview mirror. We just have to
focus on what's ahead of us.
Focus on what's ahead of us.
Yeah.
And then the road ahead, it is long, it is windy, and it is twisty, but we've got our snacks for the road trip ahead.
What is your road trip snack?
I don't know. It never lasts more than 5 minutes. So
doesn't even make it to the car.
No, it doesn't. Never makes it to the motorway. Anyway, not many road trip snacks have made it to the motorway.
Like when you're in the movies and you finish the popcorn before the previews are finished.
Yeah. That's
classic
a rough time. What's your road trip snack?
We actually just had some before, some of those purple Doritos, which we're looking at now.
Thai sweet chili. That's my favorite Dorito flavor too.
Is it really, man?
Yeah, I get a bag every week, to be honest.
So I was at the supermarket looking for some refreshments, and I was like, what is a Hoss chip flavor? And I thought barbecue Pringles, pretty safe option. I think. Is that your favorite of the Pringles range?
I'm not a huge Pringle guy. I feel like I'll eat them.
They've definitely gone downhill.
Yeah, and I'm more of a. I don't know if it's just the psychology of it, but just the fact that they are all the same shape just adds a little bit more artificialness to it in my mind. So I feel like a Bluebird or like a classic potato chip, just
you want a bit of variance to them,
and it just feels like I'm eating healthier. Feels like,
because it's an organic shape.
It's an organic shape. It resembles more of the shape of a potato.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So it's like one step less. Like a Pringle just seems like they did one more step to make it less of a potato.
Well, there was a great Bon Appetit. I think it was Bon Appetit. She tried to recreate Pringles, and man, the amount of work she had to do, because again, they've changed since the early 90s, but they do have that kind of melt in your mouth. When they hit your tongue, they kind of dissolve, whatever. To make that happen, it is very artificial. It's a kind of potato starch recreation of a thing, whereas like the other chips, you feel like they're more like cut from. You can see the original potato in the kind of cut that you see them in.
They're all different shapes and sizes, like a potato is. You never get a potato that's like the same size in the same batch. So I
think with Pringles, they used to say once you pop, you can't stop. But
that is so true. Like, they're so good too. Like, that's
Pringles? I think you said you weren't a Pringles guy.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I start eating them and I'm enjoying them, but like, it's the regret. It's like what? Because like that's the other thing. Like, I always get a weird feeling after eating them. I feel like I've eaten nothing.
Yeah,
and it's just
I can understand that. I do find it a lot easier to stop than I used to in the 90s, though, because they're just, I don't know, I don't know what they've put them back, Mr. Pringle.
You've probably developed more self-control than
maybe
the version of yourself in the 90s.
Maybe, yeah.
Can't imagine 6-year-old Taylor had much.
He was getting after it.
Yeah.
So then the Doritos there, that's your favourite one. What about if you're going for like a bluebird chip?
Oh, salt and vinegar.
Salt and vinegar? That was my feeling. I thought, man, Matt seems like a hearty guy with a tongue that can take, a bit of pain. And I'm too soft for salt and vinegar chips.
What do you go for?
I'm a classic chicken man myself, the yellow chicken.
Chicken is like the flavor of my childhood.
Yeah,
it's very much definitely was the favorite as a kid. It was chicken all the time.
Yeah. So to the American listener, well, actually, do you know what? We get a few downloads on the listeners. So to the American listeners, there's a little bit of Kiwi culture we can impart onto you. Is what is the combination? It's called reduced cream. Is that what it is? The can that you buy and then you add the onion powder to it.
It's onion dip. It's basically the onion. Isn't it the onion soup with the...
Yeah, there's a brand called Maggi which makes packet soups, and I've never made a packet of soup from Maggi before. I've only ever used it to make dip. And I think this is our equivalent of like, Americans will make like buffalo dip or something for sports games. This is our equivalent to that. And I think the typical combination is the bluebird, chicken already salted flavors, plus this Maggi onion dip. So the chicken, that combination to me is the real 1-2 punch of snacking.
I'd agree. I think you can buy just that kiwi onion dip straight now. I assume they make it.
Something's not quite right about it. Like it tastes very artificial.
True.
So you gotta make it yourself. It's like rolling a cigarette. I'm sure it hits. You could buy the pre-rolled ones, but rolling it yourself hits that much sweeter, I would assume.
Yeah.
I've never smoked.
I've smoked things, so I'd imagine yes, it would hit a little different. You just because I think it's all just personal preference. Some people like them thicker, some like them smaller, some like a higher percentage of the onion dip, some like a lower.
That's true.
True,
you can really customize that. So, second item on our list today is we've both been mistaken for other people. This story I've been waiting so long to tell you this because this happened probably 2 months ago now. I was just finishing a quiz night, and a woman came up to me and she was like, "Excuse me, I forget whether she asked for you by name or if she just asked if I was on a show from several nights ago that like I definitely was not on." And I was like, "Oh no, that wasn't me." And like I think she thought I was you, but I didn't want to be recognized in public and was kind of trying to fob her off because she's looking at me like real suspiciously. And so I was like, yeah, no, you definitely would have not seen me on that show. And then I had the thought and I went, wait a second. And I got a photo. I think I must have grabbed a thumbnail from Hosstown or something. And I was like, was it this guy? I held up my phone. She's like, yeah, that was him. And then so she calls her husband over and is like, hey, doesn't he look like that guy we saw on Saturday? It was really funny. And then I forgot that normal people don't really get comedian humor, like that self-deprecating humor, because they were all happy, and I said he was really funny, and then she's like, "Are you as funny as him?" And this is where I realized I don't have a very good sarcasm delivery because I just went, "Nah, I'm a bit of a hack, eh?" And she literally didn't say anything and just turned around and walked away again.
Did she say what show she saw me at, or just the venue? Was it a specific?
Yes.
No, but like, because you've told me the venue, we don't need to talk about it. But did she say a specific show?
Yeah, it was a Saturday show.
Oh, Saturday show. Oh,
yeah.
Wow, okay. And I normally haven't done well there on those Saturday shows, so that's
But here's the thing, man: is Kiwi audiences can stone face you the entire show, only to then tell you how much of a great time they had as they're leaving. So, I imagine that was their experience there, but. So I thought that was great. I wish I'd been wearing the Hosstown t-shirt. This is a great chance for me to show it off, actually. So I was going to do this in the last recording, but we have official Hosstown merchandise now. So I tell you what, can you hold your mic in front of my mouth and I'll just... So So this year we have the Hosstown t-shirt with the logo. You can see mine is a little bit kind of fucked up. It doesn't come like that. It's because I put it in the dryer, which you're not supposed to do apparently. I put it in the dryer upside down. But yeah, the Hosstown logo. This t-shirt is very stinky because it was the one that I biked in the other day. Back to me. But you can get yours at taylorruddle.com/merch and just go to the Hosstown section. You can pick yours up today. Unfortunately, you can't get big boy sizes in red, so hence the black. But, you know, we make do, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's probably a good thing. We don't need Hosstown fans looking like the Kool-Aid guy. So, yeah.
So then you were mistaken for somebody yourself.
Yes,
Tell me about this.
This was at a show where I was just got there just around call time, and I was sitting at the bar, and a guy just comes up to me, and he's very sheepish, very like, you know, I could tell that he was a little bit in awe of who he was potentially seeing. I was like, oh, okay, this guy's, and he just stops me, and he just says, "Excuse me, are you Ron Mack?" And immediately, I was around like 3-4 other comics. They all just burst out laughing, and I had to tell him, unfortunately, I am not Ron Mack. I am indeed Matt Lilley, and he then seemed very embarrassed and clearly did not know who I was. So. Yeah, that was an interesting. I should have chased him up after the show and asked him if he thought I was better than Ron Mack, but I didn't. So. Yeah.
I don't want to be a massive dick, but is Ron Mack that notorious? That people
no, not really, especially because they've rebranded in the last year or so. So but I imagine you probably saw them. You know, Christchurch comedy, it's a small circle.
Yeah.
You know, if you go to enough shows, you're going to see most of the comedians in the city. So.
Yeah, well, this guy fucking loves Ron Mack.
Yeah, he loves Ron Mack.
I'm guessing Ron's not watching, but shout out to Ron.
Well, fellow Hoss.
Yeah.
Especially,
Ron Mack strikes me as the sort of Hoss that's used to be a bit heavier and has lost weight. Does he seem like that to you?
Well, I think he's the opposite. I think he hasn't been a Hoss for long. I think he's
welcome, my brother. Welcome, brother. Has he always had a beard?
No. I think he's a COVID convert to the Hoss way of life. He's
a recent conversion.
I think I may be wrong. I didn't really know him back then, but like
wonderful. We'll go and follow Ron Mack. I don't know what his Instagram tag is.
Ron Mack Comedy.
Ron Mack Comedy. There you go. Go and follow Ron.
Yeah.
Good guy. I've enjoyed the 3 or 4 times I've spoken with him. So yeah.
Very funny.
Yeah. This is the thing. Sometimes we'll joke around about this when we're on the same lineup. I think our similarness, can't even say the word
similarities,
doesn't actually work when we're in the same room together. We don't look that similar that when we're standing next to each other, people don't think we look the same. But it's like when you have a vague memory of Matt Lilley and you see me, you think that might be, and then maybe vice versa. I'm not quite sure, but
if we played like one of those games where like you had to guess the person like by their like silhouette or like a blurry image,
right?
I think it would be true. Like if we got somebody in like who was like a little bit hard of seeing and they wore like quite thick glasses, and they got told them to take them off, and we just like spun around in circles for like 30 seconds, and we're like, all right, who's Taylor, who's who?
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be 50-50.
That's true.
Yeah,
but I've always, like one time at your Galaxy show, I think you gave the mic to me, and I opened by being like, most of you are probably thinking, hey, did Matt just hand the mic to himself? And like, it just didn't work. Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's something about when it's actually us two in the same room.
I think it's because I'm a little bit taller. My hair's a little bit longer.
You dress better than I do.
Yeah. Well, thanks to Johnny Big. I guess. Imagine if we got that sponsorship. That'd be perfect, wouldn't it?
Dude. Yeah. So genuinely, when we were on tour with David Correos, we went into Johnny Big, and he bought me some clothes. I don't think he would mind me saying that. Thank you, David. You've got to thank you in the credits of my special as well.
Yeah.
But the clerk came up to us on the way out and was like, oh, would you guys like to be like ambassador? Something to that extent. Would you like to be ambassadors or whatever? And so he took our details, and we never heard from them. So Johnny Big, if you're watching, I'm waiting for your damn phone call.
Yeah.
I will do anything. I've got no morals.
Maybe they did call David.
Oh, I'm almost certain he got a call and I didn't.
Yeah. David looks like David's. I'm assuming
He's lost weight though. He's a thin guy now. He's not a Hoss
he
anymore.
might just be able to wear clothes at Johnny Big, or he's kind of probably on that limit. You know.
No, he's got a perm. He looks like, I told him the other day, he looks like the love interest in a K-drama. He got a perm. He's gorgeous. he's really pulling himself. This makes it sound like he was horrific. He has a lot of ladies, lot of lady fans.
He's glowing up. That's what you're saying. He's on the glow
exactly.
up.
No, But so Johnny Big, we've lost Correos. So option number 2, right here.
You know who like their main sort of like model / celebrity in this?
They're not even really that big.
No,
they're just tall guys. They have a little bit.
No, there is one person that is really big who's like on a lot of. You might not recognize him. I recognize him because he's an NFL player.
Yeah,
he's an Australian NFL player, Jordan Mailata, who's like an offensive lineman who's 6'8" and 160 kilos at 20% body fat.
And he balls for Johnny Big.
Yeah, and he's an offensive lineman for the Philadelphia Eagles.
I hate that.
Yeah, I know. He earns $20 million a year and is the like spokesperson for because he's from Australia. So
I hate that. You see, like, you go, plus size models like this. I can get in this, and you're like, wait, you still have to be like a model, good looking to get into it.
Yeah, this guy's like,
damn it,
this guy's a hoss but with abs. Like,
I'm sure he's gorgeous.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, and he sings so beautifully.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he's got a Christmas like song album, literally. Yeah, Jordan Mailata, shout out if you're listening.
Yeah. All right, let's go. So this is another story that I've been waiting to tell you. Is I got heckled. The start of the story is I, for the first time in 9 years of doing stand-up, lost my temper with an audience member, which genuinely has not happened in 9 years of doing stand-up. Like, I've been really lucky in like not really getting heckled. We've had some nights where there were hecklers that just were going, even, it wasn't specifically me that they were heckling, it's just they wouldn't shut up the whole night. But this one here was the first one that made me blow my top at someone, and I feel like I'm gonna walk you through it if that's all right.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Because you weren't there on the night, were you?
No, I wasn't.
So I started doing the Hungry Walk bit from my special coming out soon, Taylor Ruddle Panic at the Buffet, and I start with a kind of rhetorical question, and I say, "Do you guys know Hungry Walk?" And then this older dude, like maybe in his 50s, I'm not quite sure how old he was. It's hard to, dark, hard to tell. But so he answered a rhetorical question, which already annoyed me off the bat. And he did it in a way, because I said, you'll know Hungry Walk? And he was like, well, we can tell you do. And, he's doing a fat, oh, you're fat, whatever.
Yeah, which ignoring the fact that the whole joke is, self-deprecating about you being fat.
Yeah, I've made a whole bunch of jokes about that beforehand, but
yeah,
what really made the red mist descend and what really pissed me off is the fact that, one, he was fat as well. Like, he was less fat than me, sure.
Yeah.
But, like, other than me, every other guy in the room was thin, you know what I mean? Like, it was just us two were the big guys in the room kind of thing. And so I felt like he was stabbing me in the back there a little bit. I was like, dude, like, I was just, this is what's going through my head as it happens. And I was like, why would you, Judas, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, et tu, Brute. Like, that was what was going through my head. Like, why would you do this to me, brother? And I fucking hate, it's like, you have like older relatives or something who like, what they really want to say to you is like, you're fat or something, but they have to word it in it like, well, you had your lunch, haven't you? Know what I mean? Like that kind of.
It's my entire relationship with my dad going.
Fuck yeah, me and many of my older relatives.
Yeah.
And teachers and former bosses and basically just old people seem to love doing this kind of like, well, if I don't actually say it, then they're not allowed to get angry at me because I haven't. And it's like, just fucking say what you mean.
Yeah, as if like nuance doesn't hold up.
It's getting me hot now just thinking about it. So that's why the two prong there, the fact that he was also a hoss and the fact that he did it in the most like wimpy, cowardly, I'm not actually going to say it, but I'm going to imply it kind of thing. And so I haven't listened to the audio back yet because I don't have the guts to do that just yet. But I think I felt like all the rooms, I felt like the whole crowd kind of pull back because it was mostly women, and you know they're far more progressive than dudes have been about making fat jokes, you know.
Yeah.
And so there was this kind of like, oh, and then I forget what I said, but I went something like "fuck you, cunt" at him, like, you know, I just like, it was 0 to 100 kind of thing, and then I said something like, "You're the second fattest guy in this room. Why are you dogging me, man?" Something along those lines. And it was something like, and then I think I might have said something like, you know, look at every other guy in this room. If there's one person I'm not taking, it's you. So it was something like that. I just kind of went off. I don't exactly remember this. But this sentiment was like, you also are a fat guy. We should be standing together on this front, but you were trying to throw me under the bus.
Yeah.
And like you're in shape like the rest of the guys. Fuck you. You're like, yeah, so... And then the funniest thing about it was he shouted something back at me where he was like, what did he say? He was like, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, that's why I'm saying, though, I know you from that. Like, he was kind of implying that, like, because he was also a heavy guy, that we were like, hey, I knew you from the buffet or something. But, like, he was a bit toasted. I think he was a bit drunk. So, again, I shouldn't have taken what he said at face value in the beginning. But, like, from his tone of, like, shouting back at me, I went, like, oh, he doesn't know he's a fat guy. And that pushed his button, because he came back at me with the same level that I came at him of being upset. And so that was when I just went, fucking hell or something. And then I moved on, because I was like, this is just going to be two fat guys upset at each other. Do you know what I mean? Like, no one wants to watch that. So that was, and then... Oh, that set was I just kept getting interrupted and stuff, and so I ended up tapping out a little bit earlier that because they were all there to see Ben Caldwell, who was like visiting. They were all from like his conference, I think. But I think they thought that like I was more upset than I was about it, because I just kind of went, you know, I had attempted to start some bits, but I kept getting interrupted by like weight stuff and all that kind of thing. And I thought like, I've got all these bits I'm trying to run for my special. Like, I can't really just pick up and start like an 8-minute bit with, you know, 2 minutes to go in the show. So I just sort of tapped out. I just said, all right, well, I'm going to get out of here kind of thing. And then they like at the end sort of got me to do like a weird encore thing where they wanted me to come out and they gave me like a round of applause or something. So I think they felt really bad for the way that their like colleague behaved or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was my experience of being heckled and actually losing my temper at someone, which is genuinely never happened to me.
You know, just tearing apart our own. That's what it sounds like there. Like, well, it's like
cannibalism.
It's cannibalism, literally. One step away from it, to be honest. But yeah, it's a weird. That's the thing. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it came from, because there is, especially in like Kiwi guy culture, there's real like, you know. It's like you kind of got to be. I imagine it was more prevalent back in the day, but like some people still very much like that. Where if they think you're friendly, or think you're getting on, they'll just like rip it. Cause you know how like a lot of guys, they just rip into their mates,
breaking balls. Yeah,
breaking balls. I wonder if he just thought you guys were just a little bit friendlier than you were, and he was like, I'm just gonna rip this guy, or maybe it was just a.
That's entirely possible.
Yeah, or it could have been.
I sure as hell didn't take it.
No. Well, that's the thing. It's like maybe if he came up to you after the show and was like, "Hey," and just like gave you one of those buddy things, and just like that was the fact that it was like mid joke, and he was like, that's the thing. Like,
it felt mean spirited to me, is what, and it felt like he wanted to. He was doing the equivalent of sticking his foot out and hoping I tripped over it, is what I kind of felt like it. So,
and you just grabbed his foot and broke it, basically.
I fell over onto his leg and broke it, yeah. And those, so again, after the show ended, I just stayed backstage for a bit because I was like, those dudes are always the ones who will make your life absolutely hell during the show. And then they want to come up and be real chummy with you afterwards, like, hey, you know, we really had him going in there, didn't we? And you know, like he's one of the performers. And so, I was like, I'm not going back out there because he will come over and try to like pal around. And I was probably annoyed enough that I would have just told him to go fuck himself or something to his face. And that would not have been a good move, because that would have been, you know, I was very worked up after that.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's just stay here and cool off a little bit.
Yeah. I've only like I've never had an outburst like that being heckled, but
you're only a few years in, so
I know, but
it took 9 years for that to happen, man.
I've been heckled once to the point where I like felt the anger bubbling. But like, it was such a.
What kind of heckling
it was
was
3
it?
against 1. Like, it was a group of 3.
Jeez.
It was more. One guy was doing most of it. It was a table of 3, and I
Yeah.
could tell they were on his side. And to be fair, I think they were drunk and they were Irish. And I couldn't understand them at the start, and I just ignored them. And then they kept repeating what they were saying, like they were trying to get my attention. I just said, "What?" And like,
Was it 3 guys?
there's 3 guys,
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
like
tough.
because they were Irish, like sounded like they were tourists or something, or
Yeah, they-
very recently moved here. So, and I have a joke about a certain conflict that happened in the last 20 to 30 years
Right.
in Ireland.
In Ireland, yeah.
They may have caused some trouble, if you know what I mean.
The song "Zombie" by the Cranberries is about. Yeah, okay.
That little conflict that went on.
Yeah.
And it's not like I mention it. It's the joke's not
It's not
about,
pro.
It's not pro.
It's not up the rah.
It's well, I do say that. Not
Joke.
like I'm more like if I'm talking about the Warriors up the Waz,
Yeah,
and where that comes from,
Yeah.
and how it's kind of wild.
Oh,
that
yeah, I have
phrase-
heard- I've heard this joke, yeah.
and like they took offense. Like I think they didn't hear the first part, and they just heard me say very casually up the rah.
God, yeah.
And they were like, maybe they were from the north. Maybe that was the problem.
You didn't say it with enough conviction.
Or I said it was, or maybe they might have been unionists or whatever that side was. Protestants,
Did they start coming after you even harder for that?
Yeah, well, then I just kind of just shut them down. Luckily, it was my last joke. Well, it kind of ruined the last joke, but I was getting off in about a minute anyway. So, and then, but they were so like I kind of put them down a little bit and then moved on. And then I remember, I don't know if you know Ben Kent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he came on after me and properly put them in their place.
Did he?
And they didn't shut up. So I was kind of like, well, if I went harder, it wouldn't have got anywhere.
That's the thing, eh? It's like
Yeah.
that's why I decided to move on instead of coming back again because it's like, those people are very unaware. So I think,
Just don't come to a comedy show. Or try it. Like, that's the thing. I feel like every heckler should do a 5 at an open mic just to get that humbling experience.
Well, genuinely, that's what I tell people that are heckling. I say to them, look,
Yeah.
you can either shut up now and you can enjoy the rest of the show,
Yeah.
or you can leave and we'll give you a spot on Tuesday. Well, whatever. This was at Kensington Funhouse. It was Tuesdays. You can have 5 minutes on Tuesday, and then you can actually see that this is a lot harder than you think it is because you're nice and safe at your table with your friends there. But what happens when you're the one that's on trial in front of the rest of us?
Exactly.
Then it's suddenly not so easy.
Yeah.
So next item on the list. Anything else you want to add about heckling or
No, just I hope that guy comes to another gig and tries to come at me because, like, it's not like verbal conflicts.
He'll be
can, like,
didn't I heckle you?
like, yeah, haven't I? Yeah,
Didn't I heckle you already last
yeah,
month?
maybe he'll see me and be a little cagey or something and just be like, oh, better not go with this guy. I'll try and crowd work him and he'll just be dead
You
silent.
yelled at me last time. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. So next one here. We were just talking about this just before, the primal masculine urges, which sounds a lot, I think, filthier than it is. But what I'm talking about is I was at the Groins the other day, which is a park, and I saw a tree.
A lot of primal masculine
In the groins,
urges.
yeah.
Groins.
The loins, yeah. And there's this, that does, GROYNES, I think is spelled.
Where did that name come from?
One very horny.
Is it like a phrase for like a weird type of body of water or something?
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah.
That must. But there's a lot of water there. But
Yeah.
I saw this tree, and I just thought, like, man, that sort of childhood feeling of I need to climb that never really goes away. Like, I'm 32 now, and I think the caption I posted on my Instagram was the masculine urge to be 32 and think I can and should climb this tree. And you know what? No regrets. I had a lot of fun. Climbed up it.
Good view.
Yeah, and it's just something. The monkey brain's very happy, I think, when you indulge yourself in sort of childhood or play or whimsy or something like that. And I will say this though, like I was when you're a child, it wasn't very high. It was like I might have been like 3 or 4 feet off the ground kind of thing. But
Yeah.
a really good climbing tree. I was very careful not to touch the base of it. I assume there was a lot of dog piss and stuff on the base of it. Yeah. So I was very careful to not touch those parts. But yeah, I got up there, and that's where the child brain, that's where the influence of the adult brain is there. It's like, oh, we should climb that tree. It's probably very dirty though, so just be careful which parts you touch.
Yeah.
And then also jumping back down again, I was very conscious of not trying to like blow my ACL out or something by jumping down. that I think after a certain age, you definitely get an appreciation for, I can't fall half my body height and just land on my feet and be fine.
Yeah, well, this is a slight another story, but there's like a real growing up moment. That first time that you like injure yourself in a really embarrassing way.
Oh yeah, okay. What was yours?
For me, it was when like I fully threw my back out just picking up like a pair of shorts off the floor. Like
I've done that with a towel. Yeah,
yeah, and just like going, oh shit, and then like literally just being incapacitated for like 3 days because my back was just done.
Yeah.
But on that masculine urge thing, this is one that just came to my mind when you were talking about it. It's one I do all the time. Whenever I see like a digger or like an excavator or just like someone's like left some like roading like a machine or equipment just on the side of the road like overnight, I always check for keys. Surely one of these days they're going to leave the keys in there.
You just like, you give the rim like a quick like, let's see if there's anything under there. And
I'm just like, one of these days they're gonna someone's gonna knock off half asleep from work, and just
your moment of opportunity.
That's my moment. You're gonna see me at like 10 o'clock on a Wednesday night just driving a little digger down the street.
I love it.
And then just going to the local park and just digging holes.
Yeah. I love that. That's a great moment of childishness that we need.
Yeah.
There's a comic up in Auckland, I forget, I think his name's, it might be Connor Hopkins, it might be someone else, but his job is driving a crane for a living, and so his like TikTok account is just like the weird stuff he sees happening on the street from the crane. He'll just zoom in as like, some chaos is, something's going on, and
because I think there'd be a lot of waiting time when you're a crane operator, because you got to wait for the people to like unhook the stuff you're doing and then hook the other stuff up, and you're just like.
And I think a lot of that is like you're not even really doing fine motor skills. You're sort of just like lifting it up, swiveling it around, and then the people on the ground sort of direct it where they need it to go, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think maybe you're
like
up
he's not playing Tetris, like trying to balance things or whatever. It's just
he can't just like swing it in there. He's got to be gentle.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'd imagine like maybe he's like paying attention to the wind and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Oh God, I would.
You still have to climb all the way up.
Yeah, that's what I would not be able to do that job just because they're like. How are you with heights?
Terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was that's a classic Hoss scrape is the heights thing, but. I was going to say have you seen this video? There's a few good videos online. There's one of, I think they're repairing like a TV antenna or something, and they have to climb up that, like it's like, a corrugated tower thing like that. And then they reach a certain point where they're just climbing it's like a pole with step, like a ladder, like another pole thing either side of it. Like, and it's, it's not like a full ladder. It's just, stick. And they've got to like, what is that thing? A belay or a carabiner or whatever? They've got to use that to secure themselves to the pole. But they're just like they're out in the wind at that point, and you can hear the wind come up and the thing move, and just that gives me the absolute heebie-jeebies thinking about having to deal with that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I could never, like, obviously as a Hoss, like, we physically just probably couldn't.
Not good, yeah.
That's the thing. It's kind of like, it's another male thing, like, or just a human thing, actually. Just to have, like, irrational fears for situations you will never be in.
Yeah.
It's like, there's a lot of things, like, I would have to change a lot about my personality and life to find myself in that situation, fixing something on, like, I don't know, maybe some high-hanging power lines or something like that, like. Either I've hit my head one day and just turned into a completely different person, or
moved across the world to live. For the one I always have for some reason is thinking of how I would escape being buried alive in a coffin, and I'm like, why? Again, you're like, why? What situation would I need to be? Like, you remember Kill Bill? She's doing the 1-inch punch to break out of it. Do you ever just stand against a wall and just see how hard you can hit from that distance?
Yeah, I used to as a kid, definitely. For me, like, this is this is kind of a weird thing my brain does sometimes. Like, it's usually an indicator that, like, my mental health isn't doing great.
Right.
Is, like, if I'm driving and I see another man similar age on the side of the street, I look at them and just say, I could take him. I could take him. I'd fuck him up. It's never, and the answer is never they could beat me up.
Right.
Like my confidence.
You've never once.
I've never once looked at a man on the street and thought I couldn't take him in a fight.
Do you know that's a beautiful? I assume that's testosterone because ever since this could lead into another thing we were going to talk about was getting fitter and stuff like that. So. We've both got the boxing bag hanging in the garage. Or is yours in the garage?
Yeah, I recently got a new one because my old one broke.
Oh man, you Captain America that shit.
Yeah, I upgraded because now like I had probably a similar one to yours where it's like the red and black one. It was about I don't know, like 20 kilos
with the Japanese symbol for like boo, which is like
I think mine was a different brand, but it was a similar. But like my one now is like it's a heavy bag. It's like 50 kilos. It was hard work getting it in, and then like when I hit it like as hard as I can, it moves like that much.
Is it like a long bag, like
it's
a Muay Thai
pretty
one?
long, but no, it's not super long, but it's like it's like that thick, like.
Yeah. What are you hanging it from?
Just the rafters in the garage.
Do they rattle when you hit them?
A little bit.
Yeah.
That's I'm renting. That's fine.
Ours is like this old wooden thing, and I've like zip tied rafters together and stuff to give them a bit of support, and put towels underneath the chain so that it doesn't rattle as much. And yeah, I'm very worried about that thing coming down eventually because like, right now it's all good, but after if I put in 5 years of boxing or whatever, those rafters are going to be but you're renting, so yeah, like you say, not your problem.
Periodic tendency. I can get out of there in 3 months if I have to.
No, get your bond back and everything.
Yeah, maybe. I'll just.
As soon as I started doing that up again, I was having those exact same thoughts. So you're just walking along, and your brain is just like, we could smoke him. Oh yeah, we could destroy that guy. Oh, look at that guy. He's complete. And it's like
no match for that right hook that you put on the bag.
Yeah, you got to be like, no, we can't. Like we've got no cardio. Like if we land,
that's what we're working on, Taylor.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, once we have the cardio, we'll be unstoppable.
But that's the thing. I've been doing. I've been biking as well. So I got myself a nice secondhand. What do you call it? Secondhand bike off. I think it's Facebook Marketplace or something. And so I live close-ish to one of those nice protected cycleways, which I thought, oh yeah, that'll be real easy. I can just cycle along that and get fitter, and it'll be I don't have to think about cars and everything. Because do those actually, what is it like in America? Do they have to be on the road?
What, bikes?
On biking in America?
I think it's similar to here. It depends. Like they'll have cycleways in certain parts.
But, Christchurch is getting better for having protected cycleways. But
tell me about it. The council. That's all they're talking about.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a big part of contention. Well, I don't know if you've seen the cycleways around town. Some of them are stupid.
Really?
Like, there's the one next to Hagley Park where like the path along Hagley Park has always been a shared footpath.
Yeah.
But then they decided, I don't know. I think it's like Park Terrace, the one that like goes in front of the museum and Christ College and stuff.
Yeah.
They added a whole thing onto the road that's just...
Oh, that's going both ways as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is harrowing trying to turn into the parking lot there because you have to watch both ways for bikes and for traffic. And when people are biking through the park, they're not paying attention to you at all. So they'll just bike in front of you. Yeah, that's terrifying trying to turn into there.
It's double. It's like, what's the point? You've already got the shared path there.
So you can go on the shared path or you can go on the cycleway, which goes both directions.
Yeah. So
I'm in favour of cycleways, but that does seem kind of silly. I love shared paths, though, because that was what it was like in Japan. You had to be on the footpaths. And anyway, we're getting off track. But so I've been very sporadically cycling from my house. I only just recently reached the actual cycleway for the first time a few days ago. And, so as they say, now the real work can begin, I suppose. But I have a slight setback, is I have to bike past, I have no idea what the hell it is. It smells like a fertilizer plant or something.
Oh, I know what it is.
Don't say, because I don't want people to know where I live. But,
I'll tell you off here.
Yeah, it is horrific. So I'm going to find a different way. I've had this bike for several months now, and it's the first time I've noticed how bad that is because I haven't got there.
Yeah, stay off that road that starts with B over there. I'll tell you about it later.
Yeah,
but there's a certain industrial thing there. Yep.
So yes, but I was happy because I hadn't biked for a while, and the other day when I did my long ride and I managed to get to the place I was going to, my cardio held up because I think the thing with biking is how far you can go is limited. It's initially limited by how much your butt can stand being in the saddle, or by your cardio. I kind of flip-flop between which is more limited. My cardio is not necessarily the limit now. I do all right, but was glad that doing the boxing on the bag has actually been helping my cardio, because I haven't biked for ages, but I managed to go further than I have. So that, I'm making progress. It's very slow progress, but progress is progress. And the photos of me in the tree, I wasn't as fat as I was expecting to be. So, it's all it's all uphill from here.
Nice.
If we have another 2 months off, I'll be a different man the next time we do Hosstown.
Yeah.
How's your kind of fitness? Have you working on anything else?
No, well, for the last 3 months, I bought a stationary bike just to put in my garage, because I've got like a TV and
Nice.
I have a TV and a spare PlayStation in my garage. Literally, for a while, I don't do it because like the hands get sweaty and it gets harder. But because I got real into playing the F1 game I have, just car racing, because it's real, like it's a good like mental
So you're on the bike, whipping around this track.
just like going around Monaco or something, just like trying to get that personal best in qualifying, just like just on the bike. So like you just end up that's really good for just like that low intensity, just like mentally distracting yourself, and suddenly it's been like 40 minutes.
Oh, that's the best. I saw a thing on Reddit. It was a guy who got addicted to Civilization, which is just a turn-based game. They always joke that game is the epitome of like just one more turn, and then next thing you know, it's 4 a.m, and you've just got to be up for work in 3 hours or whatever. But a dude got a treadmill and set his laptop on. He just put a board across the top of it and just played that, and then he lost like a shitload of weight just playing that for several hours a day. So,
wow.
Yeah, very, very clever move there.
You still get the whole like saddle problem though on it, because you're just sitting there. Probably more, but like it's a lot easier just to like stand up on the bike and just like
there you
go.
I have to, because like right now the saddle pain's pretty strong. We went out for a
do you have like proper bike shorts, like padded ones?
No, but I'd recommend.
You recommend
it?
Yeah, they do help, because then they like pad in certain areas so certain things don't get numb.
But you get used to it though. Like I remember when I was biking in Japan, I eventually just didn't even notice it anymore.
True.
All the nerves in that area just die off. Apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently they come back though, because I've had to go through it all again. Since getting back, but so we'll watch the space. We'll see how our fitness goals go over the Christmas spirit, the Christmas season. Are you worried about the Christmas food?
Not really. I've gotten better. I think it's more just an older thing. Like I know, like I'm slowly training, because like my problem with like food that when I was putting on weight is that like just a late night feast.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Just a late night feast, and so like. I'm a lot better at like not doing. I still occasionally, but So
we have moments of weakness.
But like Christmas, I'm just like,
because it's all in the daytime, eh?
Yeah, it's all in the daytime, and then also like I'm getting, because usually how it is like this. It's not. As families get a bit bigger and a bit like, you got another, get introduced to another family, and then you go see. Sometimes there's 2 or 3 different events you got to go to.
You've got to make the rounds.
So I got to make the rounds. So like each one, I'm just like, I'm not going too hard. And then by the third one, I'm always just like,
we are so back.
yeah. So I don't know. Like every year I tell myself on Christmas, but then recently I've just been like, all right, we're not going crazy, but it's Christmas.
It's Christmas, yeah. No, I'm quite a fussy eater, so the Christmas thing has never been a huge issue for me. But just I think in general, not being healthy was the issue. It was like, it's not like that didn't stop over Christmas.
It's not Christmas. It's usually the other 364 days.
Yeah, exactly. That's just a blip. It's a drop in the bucket for me.
Yeah.
I probably eat less on Christmas.
I go hard on the meat. I'm a big meat eater, and like you always get such good like cuts of meat and just ham and just things like that.
My mother does a good lamb for Christmas, which is quite nice. So yeah. Let's talk about fairy tale horses. This is one of your suggestions. So what's your thoughts there?
It was kind of just a thought the other day of just like, there is in a lot of children's books, children's movies, fairy tales and the like, there is in almost every single one of them a Hoss like character.
Yeah.
And like, there's quite a stereotype. Like, and I think like they tend to be of a similar temperament,
right?
Similar personality, and they play a similar role. Like, it's almost as if that big, like they really typecast larger men into like a very certain type of, like, if we kind of rattle off like one of the most famous ones who actually bucks the trend, to be honest, but is Shrek.
Yeah.
Where he starts off as he's a big ogre, he's angry at the world, he's a recluse, and then he softens up over time.
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of the story that then translates into a lot of other children's books. You got Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, Beast is another good one.
The Beast is he's the Beast, and he falls in love, and she softens him up and gets him to.
Is this a trend of relationships?
There's a trend of relationship. Monsters Inc. Sally and Mike. Sally starts off.
Are they in a relationship?
No, Sally. Well, no. I mean, it was 2000.
They do live together, don't
It was 2002. Disney couldn't be that open about it back then. But he meets Boo, who like softens up, teaches him how to love, and he becomes a big softie. Yeah, just Clifford the Big Red Dog, the same thing. Like, actually, I think he was always a big softie.
I feel like he was pretty.
To be fair, he was a dog, so it's not really the same characteristic.
No, I just want to jump back to the Beast before you. Yeah. I saw a meme that was like, if you look at Belle's face after he turns back from the Beast into the human form, it's almost like she actually wasn't that impressed with his human form, and she was ready to like risk it all with the whatever he is. Is he a lion? What is Beast?
What is Beast? Is he just like a?
Has he got claws?
He's some sort of human animal hybrid.
Yeah, like a werewolf almost.
A werewolf or like a bear. Like he's
a little bit of a bear,
a little bit of a man bear pig, maybe.
Pig, yeah. But then the thing years ago, a friend of mine made a joke about an ex of mine that I was gonna turn back into a human form unless the flowers fall off the rose or something, whatever the hell it was. Which I did try to make a stand-up bit work about, my girlfriend and I together, something we're like Beauty and the Beast, except bad luck for her, I'm already back in my human form. Something like that. It was about mixed results as as with many things.
Yeah. But like I was kind of thinking of it that like in real life, most larger hoss-like men, unless they've already gone through that transition, but most of them are like quite jolly, quite congenial, quite like friendly, quite soft heart. I haven't met many a hoss that would follow that archetype. That would be like,
he's a grouch to begin with, and then softens as life goes on. Yeah.
I suppose maybe it's meant to just be that is quite a male story though. Maybe it's meant to just be that like they just exaggerate the size and the hossness of these characters to like exaggerate that typical masculine trait of when you're young, dumb, and full of something, that you're quite rough, all the testosterone stuff, and then you just start easing off.
I think everybody, it seems to be one of those. Do you remember the episode we did about like male delusion or whatever? Yeah. I think, especially like you say, young men. I think every young dude thinks that like, I'm a bit of a, I'm a pretty dangerous guy, and
Like I said, I think I can fight everybody on the street.
Exactly. And then it seems to be, again, generalizing, asterisk, not everyone, but I'm painting with very broad strokes here, but I've been reading a little bit into, how right now there's this whole thing of ladies are quite into like, they'll have like their fantasy boyfriend, the book, the book talk, all that kind of stuff. They'll have like their fantasy boyfriend, and they all seem to be of this kind of type of like sort of dark, mysterious, sort of evil, not evil, but you know what I mean? They all kind of, it's that beast thing, right? And I think it seems to be a dynamic that both men and women like, where the dude gets to pretend, I'm a bit of a dangerous beast, but like, she's the only thing that makes the bad thoughts in my head go. You know what I mean? Like and then the women seem to enjoy that. He's a little bit dangerous, but like he'd never do anything to me. That's the kind of dynamic. So
it's just describing my relationship. Yeah. Anyway,
you know what I mean? What I'm saying is, I feel like maybe fairy tales. This has been around for a long, long, long time.
Yeah.
And it's like how they say that. I was talking to someone the other day and said apparently there's only 7 different types of plots that you can tell a story in. And so I feel like this could be one of those stock things that like sort of ferocious guy and then sort of sweet lady or whatever, that it's one of those pairing, Hoss guy and non-Hoss woman, I guess, is the classic pairing from back in the fairy tales. Because what was the Hunchback of Notre Dame? Would you consider him a Hoss at all?
No, because he was more.
I've actually never seen that one as well. So
like he was more just an exaggeration of just like of a recluse that's just ugly. Really, that's just like
right.
That kind of guy that like that's more like. Honestly, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, it's more of like a Sigma tale. He's very much just going about his business, kind of just invisible. Like he's integral to the city's way of life.
Yeah,
but he's invisible to the regular person because of his. Nobody wants to look at him because he's so hard on the eye.
Right.
But like he's got a heart of gold that no one would know about because you don't want to. No one's got the courage to actually talk to him because they think he's a freak.
Right.
But he's actually. So it's very much that Sigma kind of like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other fairy tale kind of Hoss characters.
Well, I mean, the just children's books in general. You got the BFG. That's one. That's
BFG's
one.
Out there.
Jack and the Beanstalk. That's kind of opposite end. The giant's more just a mythical, scary creature.
Yeah.
But
one of my favorite. Have you seen Succession?
No.
So one of my favorite. It makes me laugh so much when I see this scene. But the dad from that, the whole. It's not a spoiler to say the whole plot of Succession is the kids are trying to succeed the father.
He doesn't think they're ready, and so that's the kind of back and forth. And
also the story of the WWE.
Yeah, oh, dude, like they will probably one day make a dramatization of all the Succession type stuff that happened when Vince was getting kicked out.
Once Vince passes away, Shane's book or whatever he puts out,
his memoir,
that's what I want to read.
Shane and Triple H and Stephanie, I think, they've got some stories to tell.
Shane's got some stories probably about Stephanie and Triple H that he's not going to tell until he's well clear. But anyway, I digress.
But yeah, there's a line that the dad from Succession said where he's arguing with Kendall, his eldest son, on the phone, and Kendall basically has taken a swipe at him publicly or something, and the dad's talking on the phone, and he's like, he's talking to Kendall's assistant or something, and he says, "Tell him I'm gonna grind his fucking bones to make my bread." Which is what the giant from the Jack and the Beanstalk says.
Yeah.
I fucking laugh so hard when I hear that line. Because it's like, not only is Logan accepting that he's the bad guy, you know what I mean? Like,
so he's saying that about his son, basically.
He says he's going to grind his son's bones to make his fucking bread.
Jeez, that's like, you can unpack that because, he probably told his kid that fairy tale when he was a baby.
Probably,
just like, oh, I'm the giant.
Yeah. But like, the fucking grind. That line makes me laugh so much, I think, as well, because like it's just so blatant that the giant is the bad. It'd be like if someone was making like a David and Goliath allegory, but they were Goliath. Do you know what I mean? Like that's kind of what the vibe I get from that.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, interesting story, that one.
Yeah, gets me. So next item on the list, barbers. Where you've been frequenting a barber for a while, right?
Yeah, I got my regular guy. Shout out Hemi the Hairbender. He's responsible for this. I probably shouldn't say that at a time where it's been about 5-6 weeks since I last saw him, and my undercut's completely grown out, and then my beard's looking pretty straight. I should probably. Never mind. I need a book in.
Well, because you said that he blew up on TikTok, so it's hard to get a booking with him.
Well, and he put up his price. You pay for. You get what you pay for. It's I mean, good for her. Like that's what you want. That's what you want. I follow him on Instagram, and he's always pretty funny. I'll tell him because he's about the same age as me. I've told him before that he should give stand up a go.
Nice.
But I think he's very much like he's like he just very much wants to give the whole barber thing a go, keep the momentum going, eventually get his own shop kind of thing.
Yeah.
And go from there. But
how good.
Yeah.
So I had my first barber experience because I had been getting my hair cut by a good friend of mine's wife, Jenna Blackwood, who she is. If you're in Melbourne and you look, I think she does fellas haircuts, but I think she mainly does ladies haircuts. So if you're in Melbourne, go and see Jenna. But they moved, and so I was sort of like we're talking about this before. I'm kind of in the process of growing my wig out. I think is it still smooth back?
Yeah.
For the most part, yeah.
Good.
So I'm now learning a lot of the strife of having long hair, and I think I put some. Oh yeah, that's helped a lot. I put some leave-in conditioner in it today just before because it was getting it was getting tangled, I guess. Or I don't know what had happened, but yeah, that's a lot nicer actually. And Yeah, it's in this. I got quite a good laugh in my special by saying I've got the hair of Brendan Fraser from The Mummy and the body of Brendan Fraser from The Whale. I got quite a good.
Yeah, I remember that.
I got quite a good laugh. It was probably one of the bigger laughs in the special, but yeah. So you've just it's you think in your head, oh yeah, I'll grow my hair out for a bit, and you think like that'll be a month or something, and it'll be. But man, it's how long? Have you always had long hair?
No. This was my kind of COVID thing. Was the hair.
Yeah.
It was very much it was like barely leaving the house for 6 months, being like, I'm just gonna let it grow out, and then getting to the point where my brother's wedding was coming up. My mum was putting pressure on me to get it tidied up. And, I tidied like that's when I first went to Hemi. I was like, look, man, I want to keep the length, but can you make me look presentable?
Yeah, for a wedding.
And then he did. So yeah,
I understood the assignment.
Yeah.
See, I went to my first ever barber. I went to a place called the King's Barber on Cranford Street, I think they are, and it was. The only one thing I didn't have was the hot towel experience, which you said was that's a staple of the barber experience. But yeah, no, amazing. Like it just checked a lot of boxes. If you're a kind of introverted guy like I am at times, this is a fantastic barber to do that because it's a very quiet barber shop. The guy that I had was called Mo. He was super knowledgeable. Like if I asked him questions, he would answer really detailed. But other than that, he didn't talk during the whole experience. Which, like, I don't mind a bit of chit chat with the barber, but a lot of young dudes are a bit awkward and don't want that. So yeah, great for that because he will answer questions, but he's not going to like talk your ear off.
Yeah.
I got a bit of a straight razor thing. I mean, this you're not going to be able to tell by looking at me now. This is weeks ago, but. And it was like, it's next to a kebab shop. That's tick, that's a green flag there. They had some kind of like, I don't know, it was like Middle Eastern music playing in the thing, and I was like, yep, sweet, that's what you want. You want that kind of vibe. It was right next to a dairy as well, so I could get a wee drink afterwards, and just great experience. You can book online. That was the main thing that I was like, yes, this is what I want. Just
don't have to call someone. Don't have to go in there and hope. Yeah,
they don't pressure you to come back. They don't try and book in. Like I had a great, I think it was like a Thai massage or something once when I had back pain, but awesome experience. But I was really put off coming back because they really aggressively wanted me to buy some package of like 8 massages that you pay them $300 an hour and you can get, 8 massages over the next 6 months or something. And I was trying to explain to her, like, sure, that's great. You save a little bit of money, but I haven't got $400 to drop on a massage coupon right now. So, King's Barber on Cranford Street. I recommend them. Thank you for the great service.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. My barber experience is quite different because, like I said, Hemi's a pretty funny guy. Me and him are chatting. There's one funny.
It sounds like a different vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's completely like it's in the back of a supplement shop. It's on Colombo Street. Craft Studio is the name of the barber. But I don't know. It's quite a famous supplement shop there, like across from the South City Mall. And you walk in there and it's so overstimulating, and it's right in the back, and there's like 4 barbers all playing rap music or R&B, and it's So if you like that vibe, go to that one. If you
it's like the yin and yang of barber experiences.
Pretty much. And he might put you on his Instagram if you say yes. I haven't seen. I probably should. No, he's never put me on his Instagram. He's never asked. Maybe he's like, oh, those neck rolls don't get clicks.
That classic thing of like men and women in relationships. The woman will be like, how come you never post me?
Literally, I'm
say
just
that
like,
to your barber.
I'm like, hey, I'm the only out of all your clients, I'm like probably one of the few that is also trying to blow up on social media right now. Like, I'll scratch your back if you cut mine.
Yeah, man.
So
why don't you post me on the?
I might ask him next time.
He posts you to his close friend story or something.
Yeah. Just making fun of me, just like, look at this fucking guy.
Man, no, he'd never do that.
Yeah,
Hemi would never. I taped a special. That's how. Sorry, that was a hell of a segue. There is me looking at the piece of paper and then going to it.
Yeah.
How long we did? So this is going to be a long boy. We're up an hour now. I think let's maybe just go till here or something. But this is our Christmas episode, so we want to make it an XXL Christmas.
Yeah. Get the fans what they want.
Yeah. Give all three of them what they want. So Yes, I taped a comedy special. I've made a fake DVD over here, which you can see. By the time this goes out, it won't be out just yet, but I watched a rough cut of it last night, and it is looking good. It's looking like a proper special. I make one of these DVDs for... I don't know why I started doing this. I think it was ever since I realized you can just peel out the... you can just take out the paper in the under the little sleeve, and you can make your own one. Oh, it was because of the Criterion collection. That's why it looked so satisfying. They would take the DVDs off the shelf and they'd have this tactile thing, and the sound would get a little ASMR here, but you can sort of hear the
rattle.
Yeah, and I don't know. There's just something nice about holding a DVD.
Does it bring back memories? Also you got. Did you, as a kid, go to the local Civic Video or United Video?
It was probably more like VHS back then, but yeah, 100%. I love going to the video store. So I think I'll do the spoiler here, but I have been given permission from Allison Videoland, which is a cinema and a DVD store, to film. We're going to do a parody of the Criterion Collection videos where it's just me taking my own DVDs off the shelf and being like, oh, you guys got Panic at the Buffet? This only just came out. That's great.
That'd be a really good promo.
Yeah, so I'm going to do that. I've got 3 of them. The rest of them are from my mantle. So this is the preview. This is the Panic at the Buffet one. I don't know if it'll be out by the time this drops, but go to my YouTube channel, Taylor Ruddle Comedy, if you want to see that. But yeah, filming the special. You were in the crowd for that. I appreciate you coming along. What was that experience for you, like watching a special get taped?
No, it was cool. It was... First of all, shout out Henry Hickman, who
did very well.
Opened and introduced you. He did very well.
HH.
Yeah, he got the crowd going well, and they were very he knew the assignment. He came out there with his good solid material, and then really got them in a good mood. And then you came out and and they were just hot from the start. They were it felt like that first 10 to 15 minutes was probably some of the hardest you've killed. I've seen you on stage that first 10, 15, and then you get into the
longest stories.
Into the longest stories that kind of are the theme of the thing that carry it through, and they were the crowd was there engaged the whole time, because that's the thing, when you're a comic watching a comic that you've seen, that you're familiar with, you've seen the most of the material. Yeah, you can't. I was trying to be an audience member and stay in there, but you can't help but just
you're watching with your comedian
the audience. Brain. I'm kind of because I'm kind of cheering you on. I'm just yes, they're loving him. Yes.
Like you're my football coach on the side. Yeah. Jose Mourinho.
Yes, Taylor. And then
because
I said this and I sent this, I think, in a comment or a message there, where my favorite personal moment was when you had that woman that was in the front row.
That's right. Yeah.
Just in tears.
Yeah.
And you I can understand, because I was sitting kind of 90 degrees away from her, so I could see her pretty well too.
Yeah.
She was laugh crying in the way that it looked like she was upset.
Yes, that was. So I stopped her. Stopped her. I said, "Are you actually okay?" Because it had the energy of a. I've got all this emotion from something that's happened in my day, and now it's just coming out. And very
you just said a trigger word or something that set her off about
maybe not even. I wasn't necessarily thinking that at the time, but I was thinking she might have had a car accident or something. It's something something that had really shaken her up, and so this surge of laughter was it was a lot. She was just full of emotion or something, but I think she was just enjoying the show.
I think she just had one of those facial expressions, and she's laughing that it was just hard. I think it was good. No, I think.
Mel, that was her name. Shout out to Mel.
I think I think maybe she was laughing, but then I think one joke really got her.
I think it was the big boy stuff that set her off.
Yeah, because you're crowd looking her and her partner, I think.
Yes, who I think are actually friends of a friend, so I may run into them at some point.
But no, that was cool. And then the rest from I thought you absolutely crushed it. The crowd was great, but even just shout out to Little Andromeda as well for from just being there in the crowd and then just seeing the setup and everybody working. Yeah, it just looked like the ideal place to film a special.
You could not ask for better conditions to film in. So I filmed. This is my 4th. I've done 3. We say hour, but they're 45-ish minutes is kind of what because you cut out some faff and stuff, but I've filmed, I've got all my COVID jokes. I'm just looking at my DVDs there. I've got all my COVID jokes. That's about 15 minutes of just COVID material. We filmed that at the Wigram Hotel, and they're all filmed by my friend Jake Brown Creative Insta, I think, is his main thing.
Yeah.
Really lucked out by having a friend that got into video stuff.
Yeah.
We met when we were students, but he's recently gotten into video stuff. So, yeah, we filmed all my COVID jokes. Then after that, we filmed one which is actually, I'll drop the spoilers here, why not? We're going to drop that one. So we're aiming to drop Panic at the Buffet on the 26th of December, Boxing Day, to capitalize on everybody having the new devices and hopefully going on YouTube and seeing it.
Having that food coma day and bed watching YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then sometime in the next couple of, what is New Year's is the 31st, right?
New Year's,
so probably around the 28th, we are going to make another one publicly available. It's called Classy Comedy. It wasn't meant to be called that, but that was we taped a show called Classy Comedy. It was meant to just be clean comedy. I needed to record a 40-minute clean set to use as a bit of a show reel.
Yeah.
Didn't end up getting the gig didn't end up sort of applying for the gig. Long story, doesn't matter. We filmed it, and pretty much half the jokes of that went on to become Rudzilla, which was my most recent special, and then a couple of them were used in Panic at the Buffet. So it's kind of like a prototype special for Rudzilla and Panic at the Buffet. It's a cool looking special. I'm wearing a nice shirt in it, and it's taped at the Piano, which is a nice venue. So all going to plan, I'm going to have dropped 3 specials in a year, but it's more like 2 because the Panic Classy Comedy is kind of these 2.
The algorithm doesn't need to know that.
No, yeah, the algorithm doesn't. All they need to know is I'm going to have something like 4 or 5 specials because I've got that brain rot edition of of my other special that I released. So I've done a lot of these DIY tapings, right? Is what I'm trying to say. And at Andromeda, it was like I couldn't believe how easy of a process it was to film there. This is what was it you I was talking to where I said, when you start to film, you're going to learn that every time something's going to go wrong. The first few. So Classy Comedy, what went wrong on that? The venue rescheduled me to be on the same day as Christmas in the Park. So we didn't get a lot of people into that one. We had enough for it to be a good night, but it was it could have gone a lot better. Rudzilla, I hired some lights specifically to have good lighting for it, but they were about 10 times too powerful for the room that we were in, so that went wrong. And then I'm just, the whole time Panic at the Buffet, I'm expecting something to go wrong, and nothing did. It was I couldn't believe it, yeah. So yeah, big shout out to Little Andromeda. If you ever film something, I could wholeheartedly recommend them to be the venue for that.
Yeah.
Fantastic lighting rig. Just even just the little things, like the fact that I didn't have to be tearing tickets on the door.
Yeah.
And you stand in the back and they've got a microphone on the back for you to introduce yourself. And just I'm sure this stuff all sounds ridiculous to proper comics, but to me, who's historically has done 3 shows, self-produced, it was like a night off, eh? It was crazy how unstressed I was.
Yeah.
I usually have to bring a towel to wipe my forehead down because I sweat when I'm stressed out.
Yeah.
Barely used it at Panic at the Buffet. That's a testament. So yeah, but crazy experience, and it looks good. I'm really looking forward to dropping it. You can see just some from this photos, it doesn't look like a proper special.
Yeah, and that's what it felt like. It felt professional when we were watching it, because that's what I was thinking. I could see you have the very simple, just purple curtain backdrop. I wanted pink, but they didn't have pink. So yeah. Did you then change your color scheme, or were you always going to have purple for your poster, for the? So
this is supposed to be pink, but the printers at Warehouse Stationery can only do. It comes out a lot darker than you want it to, and even though I've lightened it and stuff, I've done a few test prints of this.
Well, that works anyway.
We may do, right? But pink. I always like pink. Brett the Hitman Hart wears pink. So I've got my pink special now. But I'm very much looking forward to taking a year off doing a new show. I actually just got an email from the Nelson Fringe saying, "Hey, are you going to apply for a show this year?" And I think I'm going to have to just reply, "Nah, I can't."
Yeah, well, it's a tight turnaround. That's 4 months away almost. Yeah.
What are your ideas? I was talking to someone the other day. I can't wait till I'm a big enough name that the name doesn't really matter. Right now, it's Panic at the Buffet is massive, and my name is quite small on it. But I'm looking forward to being able to just write, Taylor Ruddle, and then the new show is just one word. I like the name At Large.
Yeah.
But I think it's been done. I was thinking the name Bruiser is quite cool. Taylor Ruddle Bruiser.
Yes.
But do you have any thoughts about your first shows? Your first hour show's name?
Well, at the moment, just because it's kind of a linchpin kind of set for me, it's kind of because I got a few slideshow sets that I use at places that I can easily do a slideshow.
Yeah.
One of them is about the fridge.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like I'm leading title at the moment because I'm going to do my first hour next year. I've already, I think,
Hell yeah.
penciled in a work in progress show for middle of next year or early-ish next year.
Nice, man.
But yeah, at the moment it's just going to be leading titles Matt Lilley Fridge.
Nice.
I have the idea for a work in progress, my work in progress show. I've got a series lined up for my work in progress shows. Okay, so I'm going to call my first work in progress show 60-ish minutes with Matt, and I'm just going to Photoshop myself on the 60 minutes logo. And then my second work in progress show, like a year or two after, that's going to be 60 more minutes with Matt. And then it'll be another 60 minutes with Matt. So then like I'll be able to just, and then obviously, that'd be just the work in each time. The final show will be different. But,
fucking love that when a naming convention is consistent. Like I've sort of fucked up a little bit. All my none of my shows have a consistent naming convention, but that's brilliant. It's like good grief, more peanuts, right? All the peanuts ones are like even more peanuts and whatever it is. You know the comic, I was gonna say the 60 Minutes with Matt. It's like Kevin Bridges for a while. All of his specials were called like What's the New Story, A Whole Other Story, you know, whatever it is. But the problem is, it's fucking hard to remember which one you saw bits in. So the fact that you're just calling it, you're just doing the work in progress ones is genius. You have a proper name for each, like when you tape it, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah. And like the work in progress will probably just be what I do if they're like trying to sell show here in Christchurch. Just call it different ones because that's where I'll do the work in progress and then go take whatever. And then because like for like festivals and stuff and like fringe shows, having a theme in the show will sell a lot better. So like fridge would be the first one. It would be something kitchen appliance related, and then maybe I don't know, because I feel like I don't know. I'll talk to you about this off air, but I've got an idea. I
don't want to blow up the spot.
Because I have an idea because that fridge set's probably is about 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah,
but I want to kind of make it. Stretch it so they can weave other material into it. But
I love a special that does that. It's not a popular character, but Chappelle's one where he goes through all of his encounters with O.J. Simpson is like a great pillars to the show. And then another one that's quite good is Jim Jeffries has got a special called Intolerant, which is him going through something like 12 courses of like a fine dining thing, and like, you know, he'll take us through what each course was. And then at some point, one of them is going to set him off onto a tangent. So he goes off on his tangent about whatever, and then he brings it back to the courses in the dinner. So I love that when a whole hour has kind of like a you know, like a singular narrative. Like I don't know, Panic at the Buffet. I don't think I did a great job. It's definitely the most narrative I've had of a show. Like the Rudzilla one was essentially just like. Here's where I'm from. This is the arc that I sort of put it as like, here's where I'm from, done sandal, rural life, don't drink, fish out of water, go to Japan, here's a bunch of stuff that happened to me, went back to New Zealand, and then have you seen Rudzilla? Were you there for it or not?
No, I wasn't there for the tale. I've watched most of it.
Nice.
On YouTube,
so the end bit is you know, back in New Zealand, and then this situation where I have to help this Japanese couple give birth at the hospital. And so if I remember correctly, it's like a bunch of lessons that I learned from being in Japan. And then, you know, failed to apply them in the thing. And to be honest, that's kind of the same as Panic at the Buffet. It's four stories about when I froze and overthought and panicked. And then the final one is me being like, I'm actually going to do something this time. But then that doesn't go to plan either. So I don't know.
Yeah, I do really like how you see it. Is the final cut going to be the same order roughly of how you performed it?
Yes,
yeah, because I like how you did it. How like the first 10, 15 were jokes that weren't related to the thing.
You have to do that,
yeah. But I think that's good because like that's that's how you're going to grab people.
Trust me, I'm a comedian, but it's like all.
Well, and then the theme is what will keep them around.
Yeah,
so
hopefully
grab them in, and then the theme keeps them to the end. Yeah.
So I think. It's definitely the best show that I've done, and like that night was a bit like lightning in a bottle. Like I don't think I've done that well at a comedy night. Probably, there's a couple of shows I think I might have killed a little bit harder, but yeah, no, that, like you said, the audience were there for it, which was amazing, because that's what you want, is you want them to be.
And then on top of that, the pressure of a one take
you've only got one shot at getting it.
Yeah, just on top of that, and then the ones. I imagine, it'd be like you've only got one shot at getting it right, but you've also got one shot at having a good audience.
Yeah. So that's the funny thing. This is going to get very inside baseball for those, but the way we tape special, the way someone of my level tapes specials who doesn't really have an audience is you've got to practice the show. Like, the show is about an hour, 50 minutes, I think, is you kind of aim for 15, thinking we might cut it down a little bit, but we don't have the opportunity to just do an hour of stage time unless you have like an audience, right? Like, if you're just like us, just doing spots, you can do, you maybe get 10 minutes. 10 minutes is what we give at the Laugh Cellar. And so you kind of have to just build up these individual 10 minutes chunks of the show. Yeah. And then on the night that you film them, you just have to pray that you can remember in an order. Because we've cut all this out of the actual special, but the way I tried to remember my set this year, because I try a different memory technique each time, was I drew all of the beats of the story. Like, so number one was talking about Johnny Big. Yeah. So I drew the number one as a little character, but he had a big t-shirt on, and so that was like the clothing chunk. And then number two was when I was doing the creepy face routine, and that was like the number two, but he had a little creepy face on the end of the two. And so but the numbers that I was thinking of when I was doing them didn't match up to which panic, because it was 4 panics, and then the panic on the phone, the panic at the supermarket, whatever, they all had a number. And so I was just kind of talking to myself a little bit when I'd be like, okay, well, that's, number 3 done or something. And it was like, that's the first panic, is the one about having a large vocabulary. So that was a mess. And watching it back, we were just like, Jesus Christ. So we've cut all that out. It's going to make sense in the actual special. But that's the thing, man. When you're filming a special, you're like, okay, we've got one shot to get it. But then at the same time, I was much better at doing it. This is that you think, like, we can always just cut stuff out. You don't have to use everything. And like, if you watch like Bert Kreischer's special, there's heaps of stuff that, went like awry or went weird or something, and then they cut it out. And like, even Patton Oswalt has a bit in his special where he starts going into a bit, and then he flubs a word or something, and then he's like, you know what, we're going to redo that. And then he walks back to where he was. And, I think if that hadn't gotten a giant laugh, they would have just cut it out. But because it got a huge laugh, they left it in. And so it's weird. Like, when you're taping, you kind of think like, oh, man, I gotta nail this straight, to one go. But then you're kind of like, well, actually, no, we can edit. We can do quite a lot with editing. So it's an interesting feeling. It's a new feeling from when you're just doing sets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Well, I think you absolutely crushed it. Can't wait for it to come out. Highly recommend you watch it.
Yeah, I've watched it through last night, and I think it'll be a good watch. Yeah, thank you. I think I'm losing my voice a little bit there. Do you want to talk? Should we talk about the cats and then wrap it up?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So we're going to end on a massive downer. Merry Christmas, Merry Hossmas. Man, where do we even start? So I unfortunately had to say goodbye to my I don't want to say my childhood cat, because we got him when I was in high school, but the family cat, we had to say goodbye to him. He was reaching that point where, I think usually the point where animals, you're like, okay, it's time, is when they sort of lose control of their bowels a little bit. Yeah. And he's kind of peeing and pooping and sad. His back legs were sort of gone as well. He was, it was just time. We took him to the vet and looked at him, and the vet was like, yeah, I think it's only going to get worse from here, kind of thing. Like, he's just going to be kind of suffering. So made the tough decision to put him to sleep. And it was, I don't know, like, it's a weird moment, because the name Hoss, just the word Hoss, literally came from that cat. Like, we used to call him Hoss. So it's a bizarre, it's almost like we've lost a little bit of Hosstown's spirit by him sort of going to sleep. So I've dedicated my special to him. There's a little picture of him in the credits saying, rest and sleep well, sweet prince, is what I think I wrote. Yeah. And Man, have you had to put pets down before?
Yeah.
It was my first time being for one, to be honest.
Yeah, I remember the one that was probably about 3 years ago now. We had to put the family cat down. That was technically my cat. Like, the story was that, that because I'm terrible with needles. When I was 11, my parents bribed me with getting my 11-year-old shots by saying they'd buy me a kitten.
Wow.
So yeah, this cat's
That's a hell of a deal.
It's a hell of a deal, but I was a screamer. So even at 11,
Yeah.
and I was a big kid. They weren't holding me down.
You just punch the...
Yeah.
You know that thing in movies where, like, the bad guy's, like, the bully is, like, throwing the thing and the kid, like, catches it for the first time. The guy's going towards you. You just catch his hand. You're like,
Yeah.
I don't think so, Doc.
I
You're
don't
like,
think so.
You're
Then
12.
I stab him with it. But
You turn it around on him like
Yeah.
like you're in a James Bond movie.
yeah,
Stick it into his neck.
pretty much.
Sorry, keep going.
No, but yeah, she got very sick about 3 years ago, like downhill fairly quickly, and got to that point. Like, had a big tumor, and then had to
that's
put
a
her
shame.
down. So that was rough, and because that was from 11. I was until I left home about 21.
Yeah.
And then every time I go back, I'd see her, and then that was so that was rough. So definitely empathise with you there, but yeah, I mean I've been through it recently with the cats.
Can
Luckily,
I just add one more
Yeah.
thing about my cat before we go into yours? So
Yeah, go on.
what I think was like what kind of upset me the most is like how we're in this weird position with animals where like we have to make the decision. Do you know what I mean? Like if I'd left it up to the cat, he would be like, "Nah, I'm still good." Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like you're sort of like, you're just gonna suffer, man. Like you're not really gonna have a good quality of life, I think, if we let you keep going. And the whole time we're driving to the vet, I just keep thinking to myself, I was like, man, he has no idea that this is it. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I just felt so terrible. I was just like, but why? Like, why? Knowledge is a curse, right? Do you know what I mean? Like, to him, it was just another trip to the vet. And then, they sort of, before they put them to sleep, they'll kind of like tranquilize them or whatever. So I was so happy that we got to be with him. Like, we're just giving him as many scratches as we could. And like, you kind of, they get the shot and they try to keep walking around and stuff. Like, weirdly enough, this cat, he hated the cage, but he loved the vet's office. Like, he liked walking around the vet's office.
Interesting.
So, but he wasn't able to really do much. He was sort of trying to pull himself with his front legs, but he wasn't getting very far. And so, we're just giving him like heaps of pats. And he just kind of slowly goes to sleep. And then when he was just down, you're just like, oh man, that's it, like.
Yeah.
But at least you're kind of like, at least their last minutes were like kind of comfortable.
Peaceful,
You're giving him lots of pats. He's with people that he likes, and it was over like that. You know what I mean? I just honestly didn't realize how quick it is when they put pets down, and it's just like 1 minute he's breathing, and then it's just. That's it. Like, holy cow. Like, I thought it would be like a gradual thing or something, but
No, it's almost, and then the vet does the last check for the heartbeat. And
that's
they're gone. Yeah.
And like the nurse, I think maybe I think she had scrubs on, so she might have been a nurse, but she came in with the needle thing, and like she was just like, oh, poor baby. And then like they did the thing, and she just walked out. I was like, was that her whole just, hey nurse, come in here for a second? And like that's gotta suck for her to like her morning just be like, all right, we're putting this one down again, and then all right, we're done, back out there. But I'll stop waxing about. But rest in peace, Henry.
Rest in peace,
smashing little cat, spirit of Hosstown. We're going to erect a statue in Hosstown for you. Somewhere. But so now talk about your you've been through it as well.
I've been through it. Luckily, touching wood as well, that my cats are currently healthy and happy as of today's recording. But man, been through it with my cat Baloo, and then my partner George's cat Princess recently. Just like midnight vet emergency, had to take him to the emergency vet. Needed an emergency procedure.
How did you know something was up?
He was just like walking around, like clearly in pain, and just he'd kind of. I probably in hindsight. I mean, it's always in hindsight. But a few days before, I saw him in the garden, looking like he was constipated, like he was just squatting, and then to find out, he basically, he was blocked. His urinal tract got blocked by kind of like a kidney stone. Kind of thing. And then, so basically what he was doing there, he was just straining to pee because it would have been semi-blocked at that point. And then he got to the point where he was just like, in the house. He was clearly in pain. He was walking around, and then he was just like crying. Just
Really?
Yeah, and he's like quite a stoic kind of.
Yeah,
you
he's
could tell he'd
hard as nails.
Yeah, he's hard as nails. So then, like at that point, it was like it was like 10 o'clock on a Wednesday night. It was like shit.
Something's up. Yeah.
Yeah, and luckily I got him to the vet, and they were like, yeah, if you waited till the morning, he might not have made it. Wow. So yeah, because I think they say 10 to 12 hours once it's like properly blocked. Because essentially they don't, release for. He probably hadn't been able to pee for at least like a day or two at that point. And
right.
Then, so yeah, but because that's what the pain is, just the bladder, and then eventually it ruptures.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and then he got through that. He was drugged up to all hell. Basically, they just small procedure that took about 2 hours. That they gave him like a 50% chance of getting through, so that was a nervous wait. Then he got through that, all good, was looking all right. He was actually through it because 3 weeks later he was still fine. I came home from a weekend in Auckland and he had a big cyst on his head.
Oh,
that was unrelated, but got that checked up.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, I think he just got in a scrap while we were away. But and then like 3 weeks after that, probably like 4 or 5 weeks after the initial trip, he starts doing the straining to pee thing again. Oh
no!
Thinking, I was like, oh shit, he's blocked again.
Yeah,
taking him to the vet, fully expecting it to be, because they said if it happened again, he was probably going to have to get put down because it was going to keep happening.
Shoot.
But then they take him there and they're like, he's got the opposite problem. He's nothing in there. Like basically, it was inflamed and he was pushing everything out as soon as it was there. So there was nothing in there. So they sent us home, said try and get a urine sample because they couldn't do it there because there was no urine.
How are you meant to get a urine?
I couldn't. But then
I've literally never seen one of my cats pee before.
Yeah, so this was on a Saturday and they said, call it. I booked in to come back on the Monday, and then by Monday morning I still hadn't been able to get a urine sample, and he was going downhill fast. Like he was like barely walking, barely moving, and I take him there and he was blocked again.
Yeah.
But they were able to get a sample. They unblocked him and got a sample, and basically it was more blood than urine.
Holy crap.
Yeah, and basically it is very advanced UTI. And they did a urine test there, ran the test, saw that it was bacteria, it was bacterial infection, and then got him on the hard antibiotics, and then it took. Those first 3 days were rough until the antibiotics kicked in. Yeah. And then he swung around, and it took about 2 weeks, and he was pretty much back to himself. Yeah. And here now, before I came over here, he was, this morning when I saw him, he was roaming around the neighborhood.
Pissing like a champ again.
Pissing like a champ again, spraying all over the neighborhood out in the middle of the night, and seems okay.
Good on you, Blue.
Yeah. And then Bloody Princess, the other cat, she got a pretty gruesome injury.
She broke her tail or something?
She broke her tail, almost completely in half.
How'd she manage that?
It's pretty good. We don't know. Georgia was home when it happened because she called me in a panic while I was at work when it happened. But I'm 90% sure, just because I know how a back door is when it's open and the wind can just slam it shut. I think she was just in the doorway when it just blew it shut and just slammed on her. And then
I've gotten my hand caught in those before. And
so when we took her to the vent, they were like, we recommend amputating it, which was going to cost $1,500, but stitches was $600, so it was stitches. But they were like, it might, because it was almost clean through. Yeah. But luckily the stitches held together, and took her to the vet last week, and they gave her the all clear. She's got the cone off.
Henry broke his tail at some point. We again don't know how he did that. We suspect he might have fallen off the roof or something. But and that was, we had that similar thing where we took him in, and his tail was just hanging, and then they were like, the same thing, we'll probably have to amputate it. But then they were like, well, let's just watch him for a few days and see if he gets any motion back in it. And surprisingly enough, it healed on its own. He had the bone was always weird, but he could move the tail again. So maybe the tail recovers quite well with cats.
That's the thing, because she's got it. You can still see the stitches. The stitches still need to dissolve. Yeah. And it's fully healed pretty much, scabbed over and the hair's growing over it, but there's still a bend in it. Yeah. So it's because it was near the same. It was near the tip, but it was just a bend.
Oh man, poor cat.
But multiple of thousands of dollars later, the cats are okay.
Oh, man, veterinarians are eating good this Christmas, eh?
Yeah, but I mean, you need them because that's the thing. It's taking in having that mental calculation in your head of just because they always give you option A, which is very expensive, but a lot more likely to work, and then the cheap version. And it's just if you only you're most people, I think if you're middle class or below, are going to take the cheap version because it's fucking expensive. So it's just that mental, like how you never, there's not many times in life where you're faced with like, how much does love cost?
I know, right?
And it's like those situations like where you've got like a snap decision.
It's a lot of pressure to, yeah.
Because like, you're just like, shit, am I going to look back like, in a year and just be like, God damn.
I just about sold you out because I wanted 15 grand or 1500.
1500,
Oh,
yeah.
I hate that, hey.
Yeah, but anyway, man, should we wrap this up?
Yeah, so that's a rather bleak way to but I mean,
hug your cats and
pets.
hug
your cats, guys. Look after them. They're tremendous creatures. Big fan of cats. So let's get the plugs in. So Matt, what have you got?
I've got a lot coming up actually. So we've got Galactic Comedy at Galaxy Bar. I don't know if the next one's going to be, it might be before this comes out on the 2nd of December.
I think this one will come out that Friday. So whatever the
anyway,
January.
That's the first Monday of the month going forward. Maybe not January, but from February onwards. And then Friday the 20th of December, I'm running a Christmas charity show for Recreate NZ, a great charity that do a lot of stuff with young people with intellectual disabilities and autism and the like. That's going to be called the Super Secret Santa Show into the Santaverse. And all I will tell you is I'll be dressing up as Santa. Damn near everybody else in there will be dressing up as Santa, and the rest of the show is a secret. But come along, Good Times Comedy Club, $20 a ticket. We'll put the link in this episode bio because it should be up by then, and get there, please.
What is your tags? Matt Lilley?
Matt Lilley 9 on Instagram, Matt Lilley Comedian on Facebook. Do you have anything else coming up?
Yeah, well, not exactly coming up, but, I think, so this will drop first week of December, so just go to my YouTube page, Taylor Ruddle Comedy. That'll be where my special drops. You can watch that for free. And then another special a few days later, Classy Comedy, if you're interested in seeing the prototype of that. Other than that, I'm just pushing. I've sort of made I've kind of accepted that I don't think TikTok's going to happen for me. So just subscribe to the Facebook account, to the YouTube account. That's where I'm posting all my clips.
YouTube and Instagram, I think, is kind of the places to go.
Oh, I don't even get Instagram.
Yeah.
Well, I was talking to Juani Hortena, who's, if you like comedy and you're in New Zealand, you probably know who he is now, because he basically blew up like 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah, something like that.
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
And you see that and you're like, okay, maybe it is worth persisting with posting the clips. But I don't know. I was chatting to him last night about it, and he gave me some better times to post. So I'm hoping that, knock on wood, that'll help me get a little more views. I don't know what I'm running out of steam for the end of the year. I'm looking forward to some time off. So thank you for watching. Have a Merry Christmas and a Hossy New Year. I don't know.
Nice. See you next time.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening to Hosstown.
Don't forget to share the episode and leave a review on your favorite podcatcher.
See you next month.
We'll see you then.
This has been a Tape Deck Media production. Thank you for listening.